You wanted truth. Here it is.
Look, I didn't do anything wrong, just told him the truth. That my ex had been more skilled, more confident, more attentive. I thought it would motivate him, make him try harder. But instead of arguing, he got quiet, went to his office, and the next morning I found divorce papers on the kitchen counter. Signed, ready, like he'd been waiting for me to hand him the final reason. Before we dive deeper into the story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. It started as honesty, or at least that's what I told myself. We were sitting on the couch after dinner, the TV humming in the background, when I said it. I told Noah that my ex, Chase, had been more skilled, more confident, more attentive. I meant it as motivation, something to wake him up, to make him notice how much I'd been settling. I smiled while I said it, even laughed, expecting him to argue, to defend himself. But he didn't. He just stared at me, calm and unreadable. Then he said quietly, "Thank you for the clarity," and turned off the TV. I asked what that meant. He said nothing, went upstairs, and came back with a pillow. That night he slept in the guest room. I waited for him to come back, to fight, to ask what I'd meant, but he didn't. In the morning, he made coffee like always, left early, and didn't text all day. I called my mother to tell her. She said honesty was brave, that men hated hearing the truth. I liked that answer. It made me feel justified. When Noah came home, I told him I'd only been trying to help us grow. He said, "You don't grow a person by cutting them open." I laughed and told him he was too sensitive. He didn't reply. The next day, I found his wedding ring on the bathroom counter beside his watch. It wasn't hidden, just left there, deliberate. For a moment I felt cold, but then I convinced myself it was an overreaction. People cool off, they come back, and I still believed I hadn't done anything wrong. Noah's silence started to spread like fog. He spoke only when necessary, never raising his voice. I tried to talk about normal things, bills, groceries, plans, but his answers were short, polite, final. The house felt heavier every day. I told myself he was sulking, trying to guilt me into apologizing. I wasn't going to. I believed I'd only been truthful. At work, I told my coworkers that Noah couldn't handle honesty. One of them said maybe I'd been cruel, not honest. I laughed it off, told her she didn't understand marriage. At lunch, I texted Chase just to say hi. He replied with a quick, "Hope you're good." It wasn't flirtatious, but I wanted it to be. That evening, when Noah came home, I mentioned Chase's message on purpose. He just nodded and said he was glad I still had friends. His calmness made me furious. That weekend, we went to his mother's house for dinner. Mira barely spoke to me. I tried to charm her, but she looked at me with quiet judgment. When she asked how we were, I said I'd been honest about a few things, and Noah was taking time to process. She said softly, "Not everything needs to be said aloud." Later that night, when he was in the shower, I checked his computer. There was an open email thread with a law firm, Rowe and Adair LLP. The subject line read, "Consultation, Marital Division Inquiry." My heart pounded. I told myself it was probably about taxes or insurance. Still, I closed the laptop and sat in the dark for a long time, wondering when honesty had started to feel like losing control. 2 weeks later, we went to a friend's birthday dinner at a cafe called Evergreen. I told myself it would be a reset, that if people saw us together, everything would seem normal again. Noah looked good, calm, pressed shirt, small smile. But his distance annoyed me. When the group started teasing about relationships, I said lightly that my ex used to make me feel more alive. The laughter died fast. Someone changed the subject. Noah stayed quiet, his eyes on his drink. I waited for him to react, to show jealousy, anything. He didn't. I leaned forward and said, maybe honesty wasn't for everyone. Still no response. The silence made me panic, so I doubled down. I said, marriage shouldn't be about comfort. It should be passion, excitement. He said softly, then maybe you chose the wrong man. Everyone went still. I forced a laugh, said he was being dramatic, but I could feel eyes on me. When the cake came, Noah stood up. He took something from his pocket and placed it beside my plate, a sealed envelope with his neat handwriting. I asked what it was. He said, "You wanted truth. Here it is." Then he thanked the host and walked out without looking back. When I opened it, my hand shook. Inside were draft divorce papers dated from before my confession. He had been preparing long before I'd given him the final reason. My stomach twisted. Around me, people whispered, pretending not to watch. I wanted to cry, but I smiled instead, telling them he just needed space. Inside, I knew it wasn't space he wanted. It was freedom from me. After that night, Noah barely came home. When he did, it was only to shower, change, and go back out. He said it was for work, but I knew it wasn't. I told myself he was trying to scare me, to make me regret being honest, but I wasn't the type to beg. Not yet. One morning, I went into his study while he was gone. The room was painfully tidy, folders stacked in a line, desk spotless, drawers locked. I found the spare key in a kitchen drawer and opened them. Inside were labeled binders, finances, communications, custody. My breath caught when I saw my name written on the tabs. I flipped through the pages. Screenshots of messages between me and Chase. Receipts from dinners I'd told Noah were work-related. Even printouts from my social media with notes in the margins. Everything was organized, calm, factual. One line read, "Consistent emotional provocation, evidence of psychological cruelty." I closed the drawer fast, my heart racing. He'd been building this for months. When he came home that evening, I waited in the kitchen, pretending to read. He poured coffee and said he was staying at his mother's for a while. I asked if he was really doing this. He said, "You already did." That night, I called my mother crying, told her Noah was trying to make me look unstable. She said maybe I'd pushed too far. I hung up on her. Then I sat on the floor of the study, staring at those locked drawers, realizing the thing I'd mistaken for weakness had been preparation all along. The mediation felt like a performance I hadn't rehearsed for. I dressed carefully, smiled at everyone, and told myself I could still fix this. Noah sat across from me, calm and polite, like a stranger. When the mediator asked me to speak, I said I'd only been honest, that marriage should survive truth. I said he was twisting my words to make me the villain. His lawyer opened a folder, pages of evidence, messages, emails, even bank records. Each paper had my name on it. My voice started to shake. I said he was trying to humiliate me. The mediator asked if anything was false. I couldn't answer. Noah spoke softly, saying he wasn't seeking revenge, just peace. That word cut deep. His lawyer requested custody and property retention. The mediator nodded. I looked at Noah, waiting for him to stop it, to show emotion. He didn't. When it ended, he thanked everyone, stood up, and walked out without looking back, as if I'd already been erased. The house is quiet now, too clean, too empty. His things are gone. Even the smell of his cologne faded from the hallway. Today I signed the final papers alone, my name small under his calm signature. I told myself I'd only told the truth, that honesty shouldn't end a marriage. But when the lawyer left, the silence felt heavier than guilt. I whispered, I just wanted him to try harder. No one answered. Maybe he did, just not for me. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next story. Write in the comments from which city you are watching.